Hi there. I hope you're all having a good day. I'm not going to beat around the bush today, so let's get straight into the important stuff. Even though we have covered the main parts of a composition, we are still going to follow the same structure for the final couple of videos of this series. This is what we've concentrated on in the first 8 weeks of this course. I hope everything on this slide looks familiar to you. As you have learned more about the structure of compositions, I hope you have found it easier to write a composition and can put together a 500 word or so composition without much effort. Today, we're going to wind it back a bit and see how you go writing less. I was lucky enough to meet Dr. Marianne Williams a few years ago. She is a well-known researcher in language learning motivation. When I was asking her for advice to write better papers, she told me that it is important to cut the information that is not necessary. Actually, she said this in a different way, saying writers need to cut I'll let you use your imagination as to what comes next. So my challenge for you this week will be to think about the information you have and then decide what is important and what is not important. This will be especially important for you to know on occasions where you are required to write something within a certain word limit. When you are writing your composition, you should be thinking things like, what is important? Can I cut the details? Do I need this? Get to the point. Let's have a look at an example. So as you can see here, we have a composition about the best season. In our introduction, we can see the usual background information, which is followed by the thesis statement at the end. I'm sure you know enough about that, so I'm not going to waste your time talking about introductions this week. In the first paragraph in the body, by Kim, we learn straight away that he or she likes summer. This is followed by the reasons, and then finally there is a simple sentence to conclude. This paragraph is just 80 words long, but we see a lot of vital information. The second paragraph of the body, by Bernie, again tells us immediately that his or her favorite season is winter. The reasons, mainly to do with rugby, are very clear, and again there is a good sentence to finish the paragraph. Then the third paragraph, by Aki, who again could be male or female, shows that autumn is a favorite season in Japan, at least for Aki. Once again, we see some examples and a bit of a story, but the finer details of numbers are missing, and that is okay, because we are just reporting on the most important parts. Finally, in the conclusion, we have a summary of the overall composition. In this kind of article, it is good to find one point that everyone agreed on or disagreed on, which will make your conclusion even more interesting for the reader. Make sure you spend a little extra time reading through this example to see how the finer details have been dropped. So your challenge this week is a little tougher than the example composition I just showed you. I would like you to think about how much of an English language lesson conducted by a Japanese teacher should be conducted in English. I would like you to interview 3 different people and summarize their ideas in 3 separate paragraphs in the body of your composition. Each person should receive 1 paragraph, and each paragraph should be within 70 and 80 words. I would like you to be strict on yourself here and take up the challenge to restrict the number of words with which you summarize each person's opinion. Finally, I would like you to add a picture of the people you interviewed. See how you go. So that's it for this week. Make sure you're ready for our usual vocabulary test, 1-minute speech and dictogloss. Of course, you need to have your compositions written up so you'll be able to get some good advice from your mates. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.